Drive through Beret. Drive through Beret. Drive through Beret.
Thank you, I appreciate it. For those of you that were here last year, you've already seen a version of this presentation. This year they asked me to just come in and do a quick 15-minute talk with you guys, kind of on the same topic, so a lot of it is the same information, but it never hurts to repeat it and drive it home so that we can keep you guys safe, and both physically and mentally. So signs of crisis upon initial contact. When you first walk up to that vehicle, you don't know this person, you haven't spent much time with them, you don't know why they're there, but there are some signs that you can notice right away that will let you know if this person is in crisis. Things like being very fidgety, they can't sit still. That can also be a sign of drug or alcohol use. Neglecting their personal hygiene. Does it look like they probably haven't bathed in a long time? Are their clothes dirty? And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in crisis, but that is one of the signs. It's not about any one of these things, it's about the combination of things. Do they look like they have extreme tiredness? They might have been up for days, and again, that could be a sign of drug use, or it could be a sign of crisis. Grinding their teeth. There also might not be any signs initially. Sometimes they've hidden their signs of crisis for so long that they know how to keep it all tucked away so that nobody notices. So how would you start that conversation if you suspect that they are in crisis? You're going to start with a basic conversation that you would with any other person that comes to your drive-through prayer service. You're going to ask them what brought them to you that day. If you suspect that they are in crisis, you might ask leading questions like, how have you been sleeping? Anytime we ask somebody, are you okay? Everybody has the same answer. I'm fine. I'm good. So you need to ask more leading questions that won't let them just give you that generic yes or no answer. How have you been sleeping lately? And they'll tell you, not great. And then you can follow that up with another question. Oh, is there something weighing on you? These are leading questions that's going to help you get to the bottom of what's going on with this person. They also will make certain statements that can lead you to believe that they are somebody in crisis. I just don't find joy in anything anymore. My family would be better off without me. They might tell you that they've been starting to get rid of some of their prized possessions. That's a sign. They just don't have a reason to go on anymore. There's nothing to live for. There's no good in their life anymore. We all know that that's not true, but when someone is in that dark place, it's hard for them to see the light. They might tell you that they have been extra agitated lately. They have a very short fuse. Everything triggers them. Everything sets them off. They might be sad or depressed. They might be anxious. They just have this rage inside of them that they can't seem to reel in. The smallest thing just puts them over the edge. They have lots of guilt or shame over something, and they may or may not want to talk to you about what that something might be. They're having mood swings, and this might even happen in your short conversation. They could be all over the place. They might start out talking to you very calmly, and then like a switch flips, all of a sudden they're extremely angry and agitated, and then maybe they'll come back down. That could be a sign of crisis. It could be a sign of mental illness. It could also be a sign of drug use. And again, not being able to sleep is one of the big ones. But one of the most prominent signs, but it is very subtle, is their loss of interest in things. So if they tell you, again, Like, I just don't find joy in the things that I used to anymore. I used to love hanging out with my friends, but I just don't really feel like it anymore. Those are definite signs of crisis. So what would you do if you believe that this person is in crisis after you've had this short conversation with them? First and foremost, don't be alone with them. Try to get someone else there. Partially for your safety, but you're also going to need that second person to help you with this situation as far as making phone calls and getting the resources that you need to help. You want to call for emergency services. That's where the second person really comes into play. The first person who has built that rapport with the person in crisis should stay with that person in crisis. They already trust you if they've already been talking to you, so you don't want to walk away from them at that moment. Stay with them, keep that conversation going, but get that second person to call for help. Keep them talking. If they came to you, there's a reason that they are opening up. If they are willing to, have them park so that you can continue that conversation until emergency services can get there to help them. Ask direct questions. If you really are at the point now where you think that they are in crisis, ask direct questions. Are you thinking of hurting yourself? Do you have a plan to do so? Do you have a means to do so? And all of that information should also be relayed to the emergency services. If they drive away, there's not much else you can do, but if you can, take down their license plate number and relay that onto emergency services so they can follow up with them. They can find out where that license plate is registered, what address that person is registered out of most recently, and they can try and check on that person. So let's talk tips for keeping yourself safe during these drive-through prayer sessions. This isn't necessarily only when you're dealing with somebody in crisis, but just in general. Approach every car methodically. Don't just walk right up to the driver's side window or the passenger side window. As you're walking up to the car, look in it. Check the back seat. Know if there's other people in the vehicle. Are there weapons that are in plain view? Are there drugs that are in plain view? This is all for your safety. Always have somebody else nearby if needed. They don't have to be standing next to you at the vehicle, but somebody within speaking distance, so if something happens, you have that backup there for you. Have a phone so that you can call for help. And always remember, as much as you want to help, this person is a stranger. Don't quickly approach the window as soon as the vehicle arrives. Again, you want to walk up from an angle and look in the vehicle so you know what you're walking up to. Don't ignore the rest of the vehicle. Don't be so focused on the person inside that you're missing everything else in the vehicle. As much as you want to help, please do not offer to give a stranger a ride somewhere, and do not give them money. While I know that your intentions are pure and coming from a very good place, it's not always helpful for them. If you offer to give somebody else a ride, you're putting yourself in danger. And when you're giving them money, a lot of times that money is not going for the use that you intend it to go to. So please don't enable them in that way. You can offer them resources, community resources. If they need food, rather than giving them money for food, tell them where the local shelters or local food banks, things like that, are located. There are still ways that you can help without putting yourself in that situation. And never give out your personal information. I know that you might have just had the best conversation and the best prayer session with this person, but please do not give out your personal cell phone number to somebody that you don't know. As much as you want to help people, not everybody has good intentions. De-escalation. So if the subject, the person that you're praying with, is getting agitated and getting a little bit out of hand, these are just some tips to try and de-escalate that situation. Bring in a partner so that you're not alone with that person. I would suggest having the partner still kind of stay in the background but very nearby, because sometimes it just escalates them even further if now multiple people are approaching them because they might feel threatened. But you still want to have your own protection, so you want to have that second person right there close by. I like to use the last acronym: listen, apologize, solve, and thank. This, whatever they're mad about or getting upset about, probably has nothing to do with you. I can guarantee it has nothing to do with you. You just met this person, but listen to them. When I say apologize, I don't mean I'm sorry as in you're taking blame for that, but you can still apologize for, I'm sorry that you're going through that right now. I'm sorry that no one has listened to you. I'm sorry that you haven't been able to get the help that you need. Solve, that's where those community resources can come into play. You can help them figure out what their next steps should be. And then thank. Thank them for coming. Thank them for trusting you. Thank them for allowing you to pray with them. That small interaction that you had with these people can have a huge impact on them, for both of you. If they're still not coming down, try to placate them, validate their feelings, but you do not need to take abuse. You are not out there to get cussed at. You're not out there to be verbally or physically abused. You don't have to take that. So if you just can't de-escalate the situation, walk away. You tried, you did your part, just walk away. If somebody gives you drugs that they want to turn over, what are you going to do with them? Every police or sheriff's office station has a drug drop-off box. So if you're comfortable with it, depending on what it is, if it's like prescription pills that they don't want anymore, you can take those and drop those off in the drug drop boxes, and they're secured boxes so people can't get them back out. If you're not comfortable doing that, or if it's illegal drugs that I would not recommend you drive around in your car, then I would recommend that you call the non-emergency number for your local law enforcement. Let them know what happened. They'll come out and take those from you. And always wear gloves. If someone is trying to hand you something, please do not just accept it. Have gloves in your pocket that you can put on before you take that. Compassion fatigue. Compassion fatigue takes a serious toll on those that help people. And that's exactly what all of you are here to do with your drive-through prayer. People that want to help people typically have at least some empath in them. The problem with that, I shouldn't say problem, it's not a bad thing, but the toll that takes on you is you tend to absorb other people's trauma and other people's feelings. So when someone is coming to you in crisis, that's a heavy load to bear. And you're going to absorb a good portion of that. You're going to take that home with you. And that's going to play a role. It's going to take a toll on you mentally. You might lose sleep over it. You're going to replay the incident in your head like a movie reel for a few days. That's normal, but that's all going to take a toll on you. So I want to go over just a few suggestions on how to combat that so that it doesn't bring you down mentally. Signs of compassion fatigue: emotional exhaustion, apathy, cynicism, self-blame. As weird as that sounds, when you're talking to somebody that you don't know, it is common to blame yourself for some of the things that they are telling you. You know, this person is down and out on their luck. It's common to tell yourself, well, what if I would have done more? What if I gave more to such and such charity? Maybe they could have helped this person. It's normal. Feelings of helplessness or sadness because you can't do more to help this person. numbness, negative changes in the worldview. As somebody that works in law enforcement, that's something that we all struggle with. We tend to become very cynical. We tend to change our view of the world based on the people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So that's something that we have to combat every day. You are hopefully fortunate enough that the ones in crisis or the ones that are really agitated are rare that come through your drive-through prayer. Hopefully, most of the people coming to you simply want to say a prayer. It might be because they're going through something in their life, but they're not taking it out on you and they're not changing that worldview for you, but it is entirely possible. Physical signs of compassion fatigue, like I said, problems with sleep, appetite changes. You might feel that knot in the pit of your stomach. It could cause nauseousness, exhaustion, even dizziness. So how do you overcome compassion fatigue? You have to reduce and manage that stress. It's okay for you to take a step back. It's okay for you to sit out a couple of weeks while you regroup and bring yourself back mentally, because whatever you just dealt with has taken a toll on you. It's okay to put yourself and your emotional well-being first. In fact, it's mandatory. If you're not taking care of yourself, how can you help others? Get quality rest. I know that's easier said than done. I work all kinds of crazy shifts. Sometimes I'm working all day, sometimes I'm working all night. My body never knows when it's time to sleep, so it always wants to sleep. But trying to prioritize that rest is the most important thing. Rest, we all know we are supposed to diet and exercise. We're supposed to drink water. Sleep is the most important thing for our body, but it's also the first thing that we're willing to give up. Join a caregivers group. There's support groups out there. I don't know if you guys, through your church or through your drive-through prayer groups, if you debrief and you have those kind of sit-downs where you can all kind of vent and talk about what's going on, but talking about it definitely helps you come back down from that mental anguish. Practice self-compassion. Practice mindfulness and use self-kindness. Don't be hard on yourself, especially if you felt like you wanted to be able to do more for somebody. Cut yourself some slack. There's only so much that you are equipped to do. And set firm boundaries. Yes, you want to help them, but you need those boundaries to keep yourself safe. And with that, are there any questions? All right, well, thank you guys for allowing me to come speak to you for a few minutes today. Thank you for everything that you guys do out there. I know I personally really appreciate you putting yourselves out there like that, and don't ever hesitate to reach out if you need something.
Oh, give me a drive-through prayer, and I will stand up and wait. To every car that passes by, come in, let us pray today. Oh, give me a drive-through prayer. How can I pray for you? Through trembling tears, one softly said,